Starting coming at you with another game of Total Warhammer. No, that's not the right game. Diablo Resurrected. Man, I'm bad at this. We're playing hardcore. I was thinking about playing a different game, and then I elected to play this one instead. You could tell the thoughts were still with me. We are level 12. We are at the Cloister. We are picking up the controller. This is how I play now. All right. Obviously, our skeletons have to be reacquired, which we might be able to do here, and we might have to go somewhere else. I think we can get a body. All you need is one body, right? Oh my goodness. All you need is one body, right? Alright, we're gonna go... Hey, Kiara. Good morning. Yeah, we're gonna go get bodies here at the beginning, because apparently our... Look, the rogue likes to get distance, and when she can't get it, she gets upset. Alright. And now that we're online with our guys, we will go in here. Now the real question, do we get mages or not? Why that's so early? Oh, well, I got work, you know, before too long, so I just wanted to get a little bit, you know, a little bit of gaming in before it came to that. Ooh, multi-shot on that, that's nasty. Multi-shot's just what it sounds like. They shoot extra missiles, but sometimes they can have, like, special missile abilities due to, like, what they are, and it'll multi-shot those two, or they'll be lightning enchanted, and it'll multi-shot those two, and then you get hurt. You get quite destroyed. This Dark Shaman, we're going to strike him in the head with a wand. That'll show him. Haha, never should have come here. This is my favorite character. I thought I might like the Warlock better. I just like the Warlock. The Warlock's great. But when it comes to having a lot of skeletons, you know, he can't compare. I guess if you spend a lot of points in the Warlock thing, you can get like 3 summons. 3's not like 20, and you can definitely get like 20. And then, you know, like, it's just, it's very good, right? When you get to cackle with your horde of undead, you know, following along, destroying your enemies, that's what it's all about. That is, oh no, we walked right into the Nova. That is a thing that will, like, sometimes end the whole run if you're somewhere bad. Now, later we might get better resistance stuff, but careless behavior like that is a run ender. And I knew he was cold enchanted. That's super unique. He's always cold enchanted. But that's the thing about Diablo hardcore is it's very, very, like, you can die in a couple of instants, right? And you might not really be able to do anything about it. But part of playing it is being able to identify danger situations before they get there. This is why playing on controller is bad, though. Because when you have a mouse, you can just mouse over an elite pack and see what qualities they have. But here, you just sort of gotta, like, see them eventually. Like, if that guy had a nasty setup, I wouldn't know it until it was too late. But the controller play just feels so good. Alright, that's the wrong way, but that is okay. We need to distribute all the vitality points. Yeah, all the vitality points. And we need to get Maiden on. Right trigger there is fine on the left because we could pull the trigger on Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden is a curse where your enemy deals back damage to themselves, but you like more than they did, like 200% more than they did. You know, Thorn's effects can be pretty good in this army because, you know, you use their power against them. But the real power of Iron Maiden is when you just, like, stick it on somebody that hits really hard and they're, like, hitting the golem, and you just keep on resurrecting the golem. And it's very much a stop hitting yourself situation. Iron Maiden is how you kill Duriel in Act 2. You can actually do it, like, kind of early relative to what you might consider smart. Just because with a very large summon thing, Duriel will spend a little bit of time getting you, and you can just, you know, do it. But we'll probably level up Entombs and stuff. Because you can get to Decrypify before him. It's not too tricky to get to, like, level 24 before Duriel. And honestly, you don't want to go too quick and hardcore. It doesn't help you over much. Another large charm. I crave to see charms in hardcore because they can be anything. They can be, you know, small amounts of life. That one's 3 defense, which is not worth keeping. 3 defense is very small. 3 life, I might even consider it, even though it wouldn't be the right choice. Hey, Thomas. Good morning or evening for you. Hello, hello. Yes. Well, fortunately, you got here when we still have a little bit of time. We're just gonna get, like, probably like 45 more minutes in, something like that. Unless I die. In which case, we'll start a new character immediately and then end in 30 minutes or so. No, dying in hardcore is... The thing about dying as a hardcore necromancer, to me, is my favorite part of the game is this. To me, the game's never as fun as when I'm running around without any gear and a couple of skeletons. And you could just start a new character over and over, but if the game makes you do it, now you know you're just doing what you have to do. So I used to make this character on our super crummy computer back in the day. Well, I mean, it was fine for the era, but, you know, it wasn't amazing. To be fair, having a desktop computer that was sort of modernish and all, just like having, you know, a Windows 98 machine in 2000 was, to me, like a pretty great computer overall. I didn't know, like, anybody but, like, one of my friends' retired dads who had, like, a really sweet computer. You know, to me, having a computer that could play games was very great indeed. Whoops. Trying to get a body in there. Come on, give me a body in there. Doorways are the worst thing. There we go. The thing about this game is, of course, there are lots of doorways, but doorways are where the Skelemancer suffers considerably. Yeah, Diablo is procedurally generated with some exceptions. They are not, like, a very large number of exceptions, though. The towns will be the same, but the exits will sometimes be on different sides. That one barely counts. Some boss areas and some, like, smaller areas, or, like, the level 2 of certain areas will be a certain map. But in general, yeah, it's all procedurally generated. There are ways to kind of get a feel. Some of my friends say I'm superstitious, but if you and me try to go and teleport to Mephisto 100 times, I'm going to beat you. Unless you really know what you're doing, too. Like, there's probably a long video essay out there, or, you know, game FAQs from 2002 explaining it, but basically, like, in some places, like, if you know where the waypoint is and like what direction the doors are facing out of the room, you can be like, you're not certain, but like pretty sure, like, okay, I'll go this way, to hit there. Or like here, if I were to teleport left and see that the entrance is right there, because Kata 2 is a waypoint that you do. It's the closest waypoint to Andariel, so you do this all the time on Magic Find runs and stuff before your gear gets good. So if I hit that, I'm gonna say the stairs are not that way, especially if it's that close, and I'm gonna go clockwise instead. And I don't know. Again, I don't know if it actually is absolutely true, but I'm just saying that I do way better than 50-50 when I pick left or right. But I only have a few areas that are like that. What I would consider the 3 Magic Find runs in Mephisto, Andariel, and Bale. Because Bale, Worldstone 2, like that's the same sort of general thing as here. And then Durance 2 to 3. Kata, you have 2, and then 3, and then 4 is the final one, and 4 is the same every time. But the boss arenas are the same every time. But yes, it has been procedurally generated since the beginning of this series. It has always been the way of Sanctuary. No, it's the thing is you get lost. I couldn't do what I do without the map. Just my little flash of the map, that's how I figure out where we're going, right? Without the map, you can't see where the doorways are. You just have to hit the mini-map a lot. I mean, that's the thing, is if you just go in a direction, it's not like there's an infinite size of the map, you'll find it. And you don't respawn mobs over the area you've already killed. You have to leave the game and come back, generate a new game to get more mobs, right? So it's not really like, you could get so lost you couldn't find your way. Without the map, I mean, yeah. Without the map, if the bodies came back, because again, every place looks the same in this game. I like it, but blood on the ground, blood on the rocks, little scratches on the stones, some boxes, like, that's kind of nondescript, isn't it? Like, good luck figuring out which place in Act 1 I mean. Kind of want to level more before we fight her. I mean, we'll just be at 14. What's the utility of getting a higher level? I mean, besides the obvious. The issue is, so Andy, because she does huge poison damage and quite good physical damage, she can often just, like, melt your whole crew. Like, if she comes in with the poison flamethrower, I don't know the name of the move, I call it the poison flamethrower. It doesn't make sense because it's poison, not flame, but what are you going to do? Preserved head. Terrible. I mean, 2 sockets, theoretically something, but you can get the sockets in something with good skills on it, so... Battle scene? Well, more that the demons rose from the ground, and most people found this to be very surprising. And the ones that didn't are mini-bosses to this day. But yeah, because Diablo 1 takes place in Tristram, right? Which is the place that we visit to get Deckard Cain. Like, that's the town in Diablo 1, and in Diablo 1 you go down underneath it, so everything in D1 is a procedurated dungeon where Diablo is being reborn underneath your town. And from there, the forces of Pandemonium, go up into the world and wreak havoc and destruction. The story of Diablo is pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, sure, you have, like, your curse yourself but inevitable betrayal moments, but... See, and you see how I did that? How I just, like, walked here, even though you could have went up or you could have went down. Look, I didn't know it was here. You can't know it was here. I'm just saying I'm gonna do this more than a 50-50 shot every time. That's who I am. I know how to find a door. It's like my pride, and you can't prove it, right? 'Cause that's the thing. Is like I can't even like define how I know how to do it. I don't know enough about it, but you know, you just have that feel. Sometimes, like, I'll make the wrong like angle on a teleport and go through, and then I'll be like, because when you have teleport, you don't have to worry about the doors. It's all directional. You know, you just say I'm going here, and then you're there. And all Magic Find characters leverage a teleport, and if they don't, then okay, that's gonna take a while. We don't want to corpse explode too many of these bodies because we're gonna want to use them. I'm reminding myself of that. But yes, the intuition, indeed, because it's all... But it's based on... Because the procedure... It's not randomly generated, right? There is a procedure, and... I don't know how many times I've killed Andariel. I don't know how many times I've killed Mephisto, but it's like so many more than 10,000, right? Like, it's a lot of times. It's just so many. So, I mean, like, when you're really on, you could do a Mephisto run in, like, a minute. Or less, depending. But also, you shouldn't admit to cheating in the past, even if it was a long time ago. So, I definitely have been banned from map hacking before. Not, like, recently. Like, 20 years ago, right? But when a person does map hack, you know, you also get... Alright, we're going to pull the trigger there. We've got Maiden Honor, and look at her HP melt. That was sketchy, but we needed to get this on. Because with this Iron Maiden, look at her HP just melt. We're going to get the golem up again. We are poisoned. That's alright. Boom, baby! And that is how you delete an act boss with a summoner. That was clean. And so that's Iron Maiden, right? Andy has a lot of hit points. If she wasn't even hitting our guys and we let all of our guys just hit her, it would have taken, I don't know, probably 5 times that long to kill her. You use their strength against them, and that's how you kill these bosses. Because if you have the mana, you can always generate a clay golem quite quickly, and it takes just a small amount of time. Ooh, a Bardiche, good. We're going to be going to Act 2 and getting a Merc soon. So, well, we're going to go to town and then come back and get this stuff. Yep. Well, you know, more than 4 skeletons. Some of them fell, and that was the price I was willing to pay. But, so, like, what did we do wrong there? I went into my inventory in the middle of a boss fight. We should have just went to town. And I didn't go in prepared with antidote potions, which should have done. However, I figured it would go like that, and it did. Look, I fought Andariel a lot. I don't want to be like, I'm good. I would never characterize myself that way, but I am experienced. 5 fire resist on a charm. Seems like it's worth carrying around. No, 7. 7? Okay, yeah, bet. These charms are going to be filling up my whole inventory someday. Oh, and that small one was a 3 lightning. We're going to take it. Look, we're going to need some for where we're going, right? And Act 2 is like a cheerful time, because Act 2 is where you get the mercenary for Act 2, who is a very, very strong boy. And, you know, he's got his auras and stuff. The Act 2 normal mercs, which I talk about every time we're in Act 2 normal, are not very good. You know, they don't have the good auras. That's in Nightmare. But, and see there, that's a single Iron Maiden point, and it gives you 200% damage returned. Your next level gives you 25% more damage on top of that. So, you know, an increase in 1/8 of an efficiency. So it takes you 8 points to get as good as the first point, although the duration also increases. And here you see that, you know, you get 15 bone armor a level, so you never take bone armor points because it increases the mana cost. You take bone wall synergy points and it goes there. Also, bone wall gives magic synergy to like teeth or bone spear, but I think as a summoner you can't really afford it because you spend all your points here. But, you know, just a thing that you can think about for your bone armor synergies if you make a summoning and bone necromancer. Or poison? Someone could choose to do that. Look, I've pretended to make a poison necromancer before, and I thought it was bad, and then I swapped it away. This Bardiche is damage and undead attack damage and rating, and it's got life leech. You know, it's actually pretty okay. And we're just gonna let her bow fall by the wayside. Time for Act 2. Huzzah! So what I would consider the major breakpoints in hardcore, right? Clearly, all the act bosses are tricky. Andariel, by virtue of mainly being poison focused, and if you have a slew of guys, you know, you can sort of keep her away. Duriel is, you just got to be ready for him. And if you have, you know, if you've got your setup of guys, and you've got your Iron Maiden ready, and you're quick on the resummons, and you've got your potions, it's not really that bad. Act 3, there's a lot of places to die. The whole of Act 3 is kind of a little perilous nonsense. Alright, so do we take defense or prayer? Not prayer. Prayer's bad. Prayer is like a healing thing. It's useless. Defiance. Yeah, we're going to go with defense. So making our guys hit a little better, I mean, sure, that's kind of okay, right? But defense applies to us too, and anything that gets us not hit even a couple of times is really what it's all about. Because our whole thing is generating a body and then blowing up the bodies. Or, alternately, if it's just one guy, throwing Iron Maiden on them if they do physical damage and letting them kill themselves. So we're going to grab Fuzzle here. Our buddy Fuzzle. He has the proper aura again. And we're going to throw the gear on him and get to rolling. And we have a skill point, which we go here and put into Raise Skeleton again. Although I'm thinking of getting the mages. Skeleton mages are not, like, good, right? You summon it, and then you get one of the 4 elemental mages, and then they don't do any damage. No one understands. No one in the world understands why Skeleton Mage is so bad and Skeleton is so good. It's just one of those mysteries. But we see Fuzzle is already just absolutely trucking. The great thing about the Act 2 Mark II is he does very, very big physical damage. So if you just need to generate a body to get rolling, he's real good at that. And he doesn't get nervous when people hit him like the Rogue does. I mean, she's an archer. You can't really criticize it. But, you know, I can still sort of draw the lampshade at her. Like, oh, sorry, I didn't want to hurt your delicate little precious sensibilities with the light. My buddy Fuzzle would have done it. She'd be like, well, Fuzzle's not here. You know, or whatever. I imagine the Rogue is very sensitive knowing that she's always going to be replaced in Act 2. But, also, we didn't, like, pay her, right? Like, we were awarded her for beating Bloodraven. Oh, yeah, trapdoor. That's the other door. There are, of course, two entrances into the sewers. The one here by Fuzzle, and then the one on the walkway. Whoopsie daisy. The fire arrows and the lightning arrows later in the act are actually like a pretty interesting thing for the bone armor thing. We were talking earlier, days ago, about yesterday, about bone armor and how it splits elemental damage from physical one. So these guys, their arrows are like basically 50-50 elemental and physical, and so by having the bone armor, you know, it's a very nice buffer. You know, a little bit of HP damage, a little bit of bone armor damage, lets you get the bone armor back, and then drink a little potion, hanging out. Bone armor's good. You know, if you don't put points into it, and you can't really afford to, it stops being as good, but then you get some more plus to skills, and having something that gives you another 100 HP, I mean, right now it's 15 or 20, but it'll be more. That's real nice. This golem is going through it. Archers are one of the more dangerous enemy types, right? And for the reasons that archers always are. A melee creature has to walk around to you. A caster creature will have a cooldown associated with their stuff if they don't have internal resource management. There'll be like a cooldown, you know. They very rarely let a caster just spam the same spell over and over and over. Sometimes, you know, if it's like fireball, a little firebolt. But archers, you know, if there's 10 archers, they might all be able to shoot at a unit. You know, they all get a connect. There's 10 melee guys, even if they're dangerous, they're going to be bumping onto each other, they're going to be running into the wall, they're going to be having a time. But Mephisto's a little annoying, but he doesn't do, like, the hyper huge damage to the mercenary or the minions to make it, like, super crazy. It's just, like, a little sketchy because of his various elemental stuff. You know, you just got to keep your distance, make sure that he doesn't hit you with the frozen orb. Diablo is an intensely huge headache for the summon Necromancer, because both of his major elemental damage moves, the Fire Nova and the Lightning Breath, will kill anything they hit. But we're probably going to try to, you know, Iron Maiden them. We won't be fighting Diablo until we have, like, some amount of resistances ourselves, and hopefully some run walk also. Because we've already got a Tau rune, which we got off our normal Countess. So we're going to be able to make stealth. Oh, soon. We should start looking for a... I don't have an Eth, I don't think. I have an Ith, that's right. Well, you know, we can find an Eth rune somewhere, and then we'll make it. And run walk, the hit recovery, that'll all be good. Ideally, I would get one of those made before we even run into Duriel. But with Diablo, you know, we can try to get some stuff to get better. But the thing is that if you can power through to Nightmare, then all of Nightmare is a loot pinata to the summoner. Dangerous loot pinata, but a pinata nonetheless. It won't just automatically kill you, but it will kill you. Like, so the lightning breath of Diablo, even if you have super high lightning resist, like 75, which you can go over cap, but you wouldn't really have a way to do it in normal for most characters, not for almost any of them. At max lightning resist, he'll just definitely kill you, but it'll take 4 times as long. There's a wind up to it, and you can like move lateral to it. You know, you can't run away from it, but if you run to the side and you cut the angle, then you can live a bit. It's super sketchy. But the moves, if he hits a summon with them, they'll just melt. At 24, we get summon resist, which will give him like a chunk of resist all, but it's not enough to... Nothing's enough to let it live through the Diablo thing. But we'll, you know, we'll have our stacked money for getting the Merc back, and we'll try to Iron Maiden, because if you have enough run walk, right? If you have really good run walk and good instincts, you can dodge Diablo's attacks, keep your HP pool high, and then all you gotta do is keep on sending golems at him and maiden him down, which is what we're gonna do, because otherwise you gotta spend a while killing stuff that doesn't give you good gear, and that is not my idea of a power fantasy. You say the weather is going crazy. Well, it's for us as well, only it used to be warm and now it's cold again. The daffodils were growing in the front yard, and now it's chilly enough for me to want to wear a jacket and a hat to protect my poor little ears. You know, as you see, I have very little hair to keep them warm. Yeah, because the golem is an instant cast, doesn't require a body. So if all we do is keep him focused not on me, then we'll be alright. And the thing about Diablo's focus is he hits super hard, right, with his physical attacks, but it's not enough to just kill me if he hits me once. It'll take a couple of times, because we're going to be pumping vitality. And we're going to be running away, and it's kind of hard for him to hit us whenever we're running away. So really, it's just a matter of managing the danger from his AoE abilities. And I've fought Diablo a lot. But the act bosses, they're just frustrating because they don't... What the great strength of the Skelemancer, right, is amplify damage, gets rid of physical immunes, and that means that you have play against everything in the game. Plenty of stuff when you go to hell, like my Warlock was struggling because there's a lot of fire immunes, and my Warlock was like, fire. And I had a summon that did physical damage, but there are fire physical immune monsters, and then you just can't do anything against them, and that's pretty annoying. But yeah, so Diablo has a fire nova that goes across basically the whole string. He has a lightning breath that's a cone in front of him, and he can turn while he does it, but he can't move while he does it. He has a fire breath that leaves like fire on the ground, and then he has physical attacks. But the fire breath, though, that leaves it on the ground, that one does big damage. It's not really like what you're worried about because it does a little bit longer. The Nova, it just melts all your dudes, and that's why it stinks. And it'll do like a third or half of your health bar maybe, but not like the whole thing, depending on how you're built. Yeah, fire and lightning are typically the two big resists that you need in the game, although every now and then there's a cold caster that will rip your face off. The big thing with cold is all cold enchanted as like the modifier on a unique. All cold enchanted uniques blow up into a frost nova when they die. And on hell, that frost nova can be enough to just kill a whole character. It's pretty silly. But in hell, there are a lot of different things that can kill you in a brief moment, so that's not a difficulty that plays around. And I usually go too early, because you can go right when you beat Bale, or you can level up like 20 more times before you go. I guess it depends on how long it takes you to beat Bale, but... These cats can be really nasty. These are like the whip ones. They can run super quick and they can jump over things. They can just be a really big headache. They aren't always, but you always got to worry about them. If they get like extra fast mods on them, then the silly things they do can get to be out of hand real quick. Like. Alright, we're just gonna draw back here a little bit. Start exploding. We're gonna go to town because I need mana pots. Alright, much better. And then, so this is like, that is how to have a party, right? You just say, oh, you got a bunch of bodies here, and then you blow up everyone. And the thing about the corpse explosion necro is, once you generate a body, you're going to be able to generate any number of bodies. The corpse explode will get it done. Book skill, jewel, and a small charm. Amazing. There's our Booko skill. Oh, we're at 5 skelly count now. Sweet. Every 3 points gets you a skeleton, and that's even after you go over Kappa 20. Oh, the Lost to Roderick Scroll. Alright, so 5 replenish life is dumb, but 1 strength is even dumber. 6 poison resist. 1 to 9 fire damage on a jewel. Not good. Replenish life on an amulet. Not as good. Not as good as a cast. I don't think the poison resist on a charm is worth holding on to. But we can put it in the bank. And then if we ever do like a silly... melee character someday, we can have that for him. I don't know. You could, the skill caps at level 20. You get 3 for the first 3, and then 3 more every 3. But if you can get like, so Grand Charms, these, they can be of summoning. They're called skillers, skill charms. And every class has the 3 trees, and every tree has a skill charm that can drop for it. So you can flip your inventory there. There's like a charm called a torch that's got skills on it. There's a charm called a knife that's got skills on it. And then there's all of your armor and weapons and stuff that can get skills. Not 33 of them, but so you get like 9 pretty easy, and then getting to like 17 or so can be done. If you put like a point into Skeleton Mage, you can get, you know, a handful of those without any more investments too. Let's go level 10. We have a raised skeleton there and there to get it a little higher, but yeah. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, and then when you get to 6, that's your 4th one. And then 9 is your 5th, and so on. I forgot that I had gotten to 5, and that's why we don't have our 5th one out. Or rather, no, I just put the 5th point in. No, I put the next point in, but we already could have got 5 that whole time. Yes. And these, those charged lightning bolts, they could be a little nasty. This is why you need lightning resistance in Act 3, because they are prevalent throughout Act 2. You need it in Act 3 for different reasons. Mainly only if you go into any area in the game. Grab the skellies. Whoever did the sound of like the chest opening and the item flipping through the air, like I hope they were well compensated. I hope they have a little statue that says I did that item drop sound in Diablo 2. If they don't, then I hope somebody makes them one someday. What a good sound. When you're gonna have to hear a sound a whole lot of times, it should be good. There's plenty of sounds that are annoying in this game, but the little plop of a mana potion, no notes. Later, Thomas. I might be gone by the time you return, but thanks for stopping in. Maybe I'll see you later on. I should be back tonight. I don't know if we'll be playing Diablo later on today. I've got a totally disastrous battle in Total Warhammer to lose. I don't think I can win it. It's alright. It's not like with my main army. If it was, I could win it. But maybe we could still win it. It's gonna be a real nail biter for me. Not that that's tricky. I'll bite my nails anywhere. Not at work, you know, but anywhere else. I have this big old skeleton here with the spears and swords in it. Got to love the little things. Lightning resist shrine, yes please. But we might just level up in the tombs for a while, even though we can crack Duriel. But now that I'm saying, I'm like, you know, it'll depend. We'll probably just push forward, though, because Act 3 is just a lot better for loot than Act 2 is. Unless it isn't. But I feel like it is. We're just gonna clear this one, and then I think we'll call it after we get through this zone. You know, that little bit of life leech on that rare Bardiche is kind of nice. I would love to get that slow trident again, though. But, you know, we'll just wait. You know, we haven't got our first unique yet. It'll happen before too long. You know, we're getting into that level range where they can start awarding us some of it. No. I mean, you could get a goal, you know, super early in the game. It's, you know, Magic Find is what it is, but... A goal is a unique dagger with 100 Magic Find on it. It's not very good because it's got 100 Magic Find on it, but it's like, you know, when you're a very early sorceress, you know, and you don't have an Istid Talrasha, you know, you're a broke boy, a gold dagger can be very comforting. We're taking the mage. We might not put another point into it, and I don't think we will. Because we need to get this point in the line anyway, so that we don't get hung up later, but... Oh. I'm like, that's a lot of green. It'll be alright. Because once we get in, we're going to be fine. There we go. Only a matter of time till we start finding something good. But anyway. Decent. It's like, almost want to get that, but if you're not getting a block rate, you don't want a large shield. You want the smaller shields. Like the buckler and the small shield, they have a faster block rate. I mean, this one has a fast block rate on it, but again, that's not what we're going for. Like HLF, no, we've got that. Well, do we have any... Because we have a bunch of money. We could even get like a pretty good wand here. What we want is what... Because level 1 skills aren't that expensive. You want like a bunch of level 1 skills without some other stuff on it. But instead we get, you know, wands that cost 100,000. When they have like charges the things on it, it's pretty rough. Anyway, none of these are what we're looking for. But always worth a look anyway. I'm going to go up, try to hit to like 45 strength. Because if we get like Mage Fist or something, we're going to be upset. Really, like getting up to like 60 should be a thing we do. Frost Burns, there's a lot of stuff at 60. I think Frosties are 60. It's embarrassing that I don't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, we're still there. We got our vest. We're a shirtless boy. We got our scars. Necromancer. All right, level 16. You see our other hardcore Necromancer. You know, this was before the Larian of the Warlock. We played this a while ago, but then we just sort of dropped it. But he already got to Act 3. So clearly, you know, my level 18 Necromancer can get to Act 3. So too can I. But we'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you've enjoyed. And maybe I'll see you guys in another stream or video. Later.